On Larry King Now, Lance Bass is relishing his second act.
It would be a dream of mine to do a country album one day, but that would be an interesting market to try to break as a gay man.
What is it like to hide something every day of your life?
It's tiring, Larry. It's so tiring. It wasn't until I was able to tell the world that I felt that weight lifted. There's a lot of celebrities and entertainment people I know that are very scared of coming out, and I understand exactly where they're coming from, because the market still is half very homophobic, and studios want to make that bottom line.
Do you keep in touch with the guys?
We have this group text that all 5 of us are on, and we've had for about a few years now.
Plus, was there a hit that surprised you?
Bye 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 was actually a huge runaway hit that I didn't think it would be that big. Every artist dreams of having that song that you turn on the radio and you get sick of it because you keep hearing it. Bye 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 was that song.
All next on Larry King Now. Welcome to Larry King Now. Our special guest is Lance Bass. You know him, of course, as 1/5 of Nsync, one of the most successful boy bands ever. He's now host of a radio show called Dirty Pop, and he has returned to the studio for the first time in 12 years as a solo artist. Lance has also produced a documentary called Mississippi I Am. It's about the fight for gay civil rights in that famous southern state, or infamous southern state, as some might say. You are from Mississippi, right?
I am, born and raised in Mississippi.
What city?
I was born in Laurel, Mississippi, and then when I was 10, grew up around the Jackson area.
You say in the documentary that you quote, "My whole life I knew that I was gay. I knew what I was. I knew I had to hide it. I knew for the fact that I would never tell anyone my entire life. I would go to the grave with the secret." Why?
Well, growing up in a place like that, one of the earliest memories I ever knew was that I was gay. Around 5 years old, I knew myself.
How'd you know?
I just knew I was attracted to this boy in kindergarten than the girl. And I knew that even at that age that was wrong. I knew that people made fun of gay people and that there was something wrong with me at that early age, and I knew I had to hide it and make sure that people.
So did you, in your teen years, you go out with girls?
Of course, once I knew that I would hit puberty and have to start dating girls, that's when I knew it would be a lot harder. But I dated girls, I had girlfriends all the way up until I was 20, 21 years old.
Were you, when you were in Nsync, was Nsync formed in Mississippi?
It wasn't. We formed in Orlando. Yeah, all of us from different places, but we all formed in Orlando.
And the other guys never knew?
No one ever knew. I'm sure they all suspected maybe, but I think with every guy in your life, you always kind of ask that question, like, could they be gay? I don't know. So, I'm sure they questioned it, but it never was a topic of conversation.
It's obvious, I've asked this of others, but what are your thoughts? What is it like to hide something every day of your life?
It's tiring, Larry. It's so tiring. When you wake up every day, and it's so crazy how it evolves throughout your life. So when you're younger, you wake up every day, praying to God, please change me, please change me. Then you start accepting that this won't change. And then once you start feeling better about yourself and meeting other gay people, then you're like, wow, I actually like myself this way. So it's crazy the evolution that you go through as a kid to an adult and being gay and having.
Did you have secret affairs?
There were definitely secret relationships.
Yeah.
My first 3 boyfriends were all just a secret to me and then my little inner circle. My family didn't know, no one knew that. But, I came out to my personal, close friends when I was about 20.
Did you come out to Nsync?
I came out to members of Nsync a little later on when I was about 25 years old.
How'd they handle it?
They were fine. They don't care at all.
Now, a lot have told me, a lot of people who, when they come out, are shocked by the fact that, one, they're free and they feel 100 times better.
Yeah.
Is that for you?
Weight completely lifted off. It's amazing how better you feel after you are able to tell the world. And even, when I came out earlier just to my friends, that felt good, but it wasn't until I was able to tell the world that I felt that weight lifted.
Were you the first pop star to come out?
I don't think so, no.
Who came out before you?
George Michael.
Ricky Martin was after you.
Ricky was after, I came out publicly in 2006, so it was still something new, which is really weird to say because it's only 2014, but Yeah, but 2006, it was still new to everyone.
Well, you got this documentary. How far along has Mississippi come?
Mississippi is actually, we've come a long way just in the last few years of acceptance. It is, a hostile area for, everything from racism to homophobia. And every story that I hear coming out of Mississippi is always a negative story. If it's, about obesity, about racism, about homophobia.
Lowest education state in
and it's sad. And this is a state I love. I still call Mississippi home. This is where my family and friends live. And I'm just kind of fed up with how a lot of people are still backwards thinking. And it's not everyone. And that's what I've realized. When I go home, I don't get any negativity at all. Everyone loves when I'm home, and everyone, when I go out to restaurants, all that, they take pictures and everything, but no one, I've never seen anything negative.
You go public, you have a boyfriend now.
I do, I have a fiance right now.
You're gonna get married?
I am getting married.
Are you public with him in Mississippi?
I am. Everyone knows we're together. I'm not a big PDA guy anyway, so I'm not gonna be, kissing people in public and holding hands, that type of stuff, but I would feel comfortable doing that anyway. If I wanted to. But it's an older generation in Mississippi, and as we were growing up, we always were taught respect your elders, and I think that's why it's such a slow change in the South, is because we respect our elders so much that you don't want to try to teach them a new lesson of acceptance.
Do you consider yourself a Christian?
I do. I still consider myself a Christian. I think my faith has really expanded a lot throughout the years.
Really?
It has. I now, and when you're more aware of especially different religions, I like to study all types of things. So I'm not going to be ignorant enough to think that, okay, everything that I knew as a kid and was taught in my religion is the exact thing that is right. I know that that's probably not true. So I'm just open-minded about everything.
I'm not a religious scholar, but I don't believe Christ ever discussed sexuality.
No, he did not. No, he did not. And I think that's another big confusing thing with Southern people is the misinterpretation of the Bible.
What do I see in the documentary? I think we're going to show a clip from it in the next segment.
It all happened with Constance McMillan. She was the girl that didn't get to go to her prom in Mississippi because she wanted to take her girlfriend. And instead of handling it rightly, the school board canceled the whole prom for everyone, which was just the worst thing to do. So the kids in Mississippi decided they wanted to throw a second chance prom and invite anyone and everyone that missed their prom for any reason. And so they threw this amazing prom. All these LGBTQ kids got to come and had the best time. I sent cameras down. I went there. I just wanted to see what the temperature was in my home state with LGBT. It was incredible. And so we found these amazing kids that are standing their ground, not moving away like most people say, okay, when I grow up, move into LA. But they stood their ground. They're teaching people to expand their minds.
Great.
Things are changing.
We see a clip in the next segment. Up next, Lance will reflect on life with Nsync and his return to the studio after a 12-year hiatus. Stay with us.
When I heard about the Mississippi Safe Schools Coalition and about the Second Chance Prom, I wanted to do anything I could to help out.
Hi, I'm Lance. How you doing? Nice to meet you. How you doing? Where do you live? Oh, you're in Laurel? That's where I was born. Yeah. 15 years ago, I could never imagine coming together and being this out. Like, this is historic. This is amazing. And just to come to Mississippi and see this happening. Y'all are going to change so many people's minds, and it's going to be such a positive, awesome event, and I can't wait to see this. These kids put together an incredible event where they're inviting anyone and everyone that felt like they didn't get to go to their prom for any reason. This is their second chance to do it right.
That was a clip from Lance's documentary, Mississippi I Am. When can we all see it?
It's out now. It just released on iTunes and all those platforms last week.
You think minds are changing quickly in Mississippi? Maybe?
Quicker than I ever thought they would. I wouldn't say that it is quickly changing, but faster than I ever thought it would. And you'll see in this documentary too, it's the generations too. One of the girls in the doc, it's her grandmother's in it. And it just reminds me of so many people that I know in Mississippi that it comes from so much love, and that'll, look, I don't understand it, I might not agree with it, but I love you just the same, and it's not me to judge.
Being from Mississippi, did you think you'd be a country singer?
Always. I always thought I'd be a country singer. In fact,
what
I
happened?
still love country. Pop music landed in my lap when I was 16 years old with Nsync, and I absolutely love it. But of course, I still have that twang that comes out when I sing. And I mean, it would be a dream of mine to do a country album one day, but that would be an interesting market to try to break as a gay man.
Do you think we'll ever see a gay country star?
Oh, we definitely will. In fact, we have. We just didn't know it.
Do you know them?
I know a lot of country singers that are gay, and some have been found out. Some lost their record deals because of it. But you know, very soon we'll be able to see one break big.
You said that you lied to protect others who closeted celebrities, right?
Yeah, I did. I mean, there's a lot of celebrities and entertainment people I know that are very scared of coming out, and I understand exactly where they're coming from because you know, this business is all about making money, you know, and a lot, you know, the market still is that you know, half very homophobic, and you know, studios want to make that bottom line.
Tell me about your first single now in 12 years. What is it? What's it called?
It's called Walking on Air. And I'm so happy with it. You know, I've been looking for that debut single for a few years now. I wanted to get back in the studio, just nothing really resonated with me. And this song came from this guy, Anis K, out of Australia. And I listened to the song, I fell in love with it. I said, this is the song I have to do. And there's a girl on the song with me, Bella Blue, who is absolutely incredible, 21-year-old that's just gonna be a superstar. And I'm just so honored that this is my first single to kind of get my feet wet back into the music.
You've always been in a group, or have you previously sung single?
I never really did any solo work. Before NSYNC, I had a couple of solos, you know, with choirs and that type of stuff, but I've always been the bass man in all the groups I've ever been. You know, I'm the bass. So
I remember when
love
all of you were on my show on
Yeah.
CNN. That was a lot of fun.
Oh, how did that
Are you shocked at Justin Timberlake's success?
Not shocked at all. Oh my gosh.
You knew he'd be a hit?
Oh, definitely. You know,
How did you know?
I mean, it's something about Justin that we saw even as a little kid. I mean, he's been in the business since he was, you know, 8 years old. And he just has this determination to just better himself, and you saw that. I got to watch it, you know, the whole years of NSYNC, him just completely just studying his craft and trying to grow as an artist. And it was amazing to watch.
But he left NSYNC.
Yeah.
And were you mad at him?
I mean, I was disappointed that we didn't get to do another album. I would have loved to have been able to know that this is my last tour, this is my last song, this is my last. I would have really reveled in it a little more because we were just so busy. We were just on to the next thing. He didn't even know that his solo stuff was going to blow up like it did. When he went off to do solo, we all were very excited for him because we were going to just take a 6-month break. I needed a little vacation, and he wanted to do a solo album, and we were very supportive of it. He had no idea it would blow up like that. So even if you ask him, I think he probably thought that there would be at least one other NSYNC album.
You keep in touch with the guys?
Of course, yeah. I mean, when you do something like that, especially at an early age, you know.
How many years were you together?
Wow, we were a group for 8 years, I believe. Yeah.
You talk to Justin?
Oh yeah. I mean, every week we have this group text that all 5 of us are on, and we've had for about a few years now. And at least once a week, we're always texting funny things to each other.
How did he react to your coming out?
Well, Justin's reaction, I think, was like, well, duh. I mean, I think he knew. I think all the guys knew at that point that, because I really wasn't hiding it at that point. You know, we had been, you know, on hiatus for a few years, and I had a boyfriend that I was in love with, and I would bring him around a lot, and I wasn't being, I mean, I was being very, you know, candid with my relationship at that
Did you
time.
miss NSYNC?
Of course. I miss it.
What about coming together for a reunion?
I mean, it would be great. We just performed at the MTV Awards last year, and
with Justin?
it was incredible.
Well, why wouldn't I bet Justin would like? I like Justin. He's a good. I bet he would go for that.
I don't know. I mean, I think he's focused on his solo stuff right now. It's going to be very hard because, you know, putting another NSYNC album together would take quite a while.
When do you think you'll do an album?
I don't know, Larry. It's weird because now it's just a singles market, like they say. So I don't even know if I'll ever do a full-length album. I love that you can just release the music you like and not worry about album fillers. Because even with the old NSYNC albums, there were a few songs I'm like, gosh, I wish people could hear that song, but they call them album fillers and no one will ever hear it.
Up next, Lance and I share a common childhood dream. We'll talk about what that dream was after the break. We're back with Lance Bass, who originally didn't want to be a pop star. He wanted to be what I always wanted to be since I was 5 years old, a radio personality. True?
You better believe it.
You want to be on the air.
Did.
You know, that light flashing.
I love, in the 80s, I grew up listening to my dad's Wolfman Jack records.
I knew Wolfman very well.
Yeah, and that's what I wanted to be. So I would pretend I had my own radio show, and of course that was during the tape days. So
I did the same thing.
You know, you would record it and wait for the commercial to get over and the request the DJ on the radio. I'm like, can you play this song at a certain time? So, I mean, there's something I always love. And I love a countdown show, too. Just love counting down my favorite song.
Tell me about Dirty Pop. What is
Dirty Pop is my radio show that I'm just so proud of. A few years ago, SiriusXM said, would you ever do a talk show with us? And I was like, there's no way I would have time to do that. There's no way. And so we tested out as a weekly show, and now we do a daily show, Monday through Friday. It's 2 hours live. I love live.
You do it in New York at Sirius
It's
Radio?
wherever I'm at. When I lived in New York, that's where we started it. But now we built a studio in my house, so I get to go in my bare feet and do.
And what do I hear on Pop?
Well, it's total talk. So we play a little music here and there, but it's all pop culture. You know, I'm a pop culture junkie. I live for it. I lived through it. So, you know, for so many
what do you
years,
interview people?
every day we have different celebrity guests. I have different celebrity co-hosts with me. We go over the pop culture stories of the day. We put a little politics in
Give me
there.
an example of pop culture.
Well, I mean, whatever Miley Cyrus is doing today, that's pretty much what we're talking about. But we like to also educate our audience, too, because we're on 2 different networks. We're on the only gay radio station on SiriusXM, and we're on a women's network, too, that is now Stars 106. So I have 2 completely different markets listening, and it's great for them to come together.
Have you had Justin on?
You know what? Justin's the only member that has not been on the show yet. Yeah, it's hard to get him in the room. But yeah, I mean, he's the last one that has not done the show yet.
I took calls. Do you take calls?
Yes, that's what I love live. That is my thing.
Nothing beats nothing.
Nothing beats live.
What do you think of One Direction, by the way? Are they this generation's NSYNC?
Oh, I mean, no one competes with them these days, so I guess, yeah, that they would be this generation's NSYNC. I think they're talented lads.
Now I'm told that E is going to produce a special on your wedding.
They are.
Why are you televising your wedding? You're making yourself your own pop culture.
It's true. You know, it's something that I think the world needs to see. You know, gay marriage is just legal in just a few states right now, and I think it's really important to be visible as a gay person, and especially as a couple. My fiance and I, we love being able to walk a red carpet together. And as a kid, you know, growing up, if I would have seen a gay couple on television, that I could have dreamed saying, oh my gosh, I could have that one day, because growing up, I didn't have anyone to look up to. So that's why I want to be so visible for these kids in Middle America that feel like they're the only gay in town, like I felt. I want them to be able to see something and be able to dream big.
When's the wedding?
The wedding will be next year, around February. We're going to air the special around Valentine's Day.
You're going to tape it or live?
It's going to be taped. No, I'm producing this one, so I'm going to film it, and it'll show the lead up to it, because the thing is, we're still 2 guys getting married, and 2 guys, it's really hard to plan a wedding. So there's a lot of humor coming out of this, because we have no idea what we're doing.
Who's the fussier?
None of us. That's the thing. We're just 2 guys, and that's what's funny about this special is.
Yeah, there is funny in it, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Both parents going to be there?
Oh, both parents.
What does your fiance do?
He's an artist, an amazing artist. In fact, he had his first big gallery showing last week. That's why we were just in Florida.
How did you meet?
We met at a birthday party in Palm Springs, and what was great about this relationship was we started out as best friends. First, I didn't even know he was gay at first. So, I mean, I quickly found out he was gay. And then I had an attraction for him so much, and I said, there's no way he likes me. So I knew I had to become best friends with him so I could get over that attraction quick. But then a month later, it grew into something a lot bigger.
Do you want to adopt kids?
I would love to adopt one. I want to have my own also. We've already discussed this. We're definitely family people. We want kids. So
what do you do?
It's a surrogacy.
Yeah.
So we're going to have one of mine. We'll have one of his. And then when they're probably a little older, I would love to adopt a kid that is a little bit older, because adoption to me is something big.
What NSYNC song was Lance wrong about? We'll find out in our final segment. Plus, Lance will answer your questions. Stay with us. We're back with Lance Bass. He hosts Dirty Pop. He's got a single out. The single is called
Walking on Air.
Walking on Air. He's going to get married in February, and you're going to see it on E. You hosted the Miss USA. Oh, you judged the Miss USA.
Judged it, yeah.
You like that? I did Miss America once.
Yeah,
I did not like it.
Oh, I did Miss America this year also, so I guess I'm like the official pageant judge.
I didn't like the prelims and all you have to go
Well,
through.
it's different now, because I heard when y'all did it, you spent like a week doing it. With
3
us,
days we had.
It was just 1 day, so it was much easier.
Oh, yeah.
And Miss USA was easy too, because we just judged the last 20, and Miss USA is easy too, because most of the pageants are all about education and really getting to know the girl, but Miss USA is the only pageant that it's all about looks. That is it.
No world peace.
Yeah, no world
Okay.
peace.
Okay, we have some social media questions for you.
All right.
At Team Lance tweets, Mississippi I Am is getting wonderful reviews and awards from the festivals. The response, is it better than you expected?
The response is way better than I expected. I didn't know how many people would be interested in watching a documentary about Mississippi and being gay. It is kind of a niche market, but with all the news that's been coming out just recently about just gays in the South, it really is just perfect timing.
I think it's got wide appeal. At ODKP via Twitter, what would you say to LGBT people still living in the South trying to find a place to fit in?
Yeah. If you're LGBTQ in the South, one thing is just always telling that person that you trust. If you're keeping it inside yourself, it's going to fester and really it's going to be terrible for you. So find that family member, that best friend that you can trust, that you can just get it out in the open, even if you have to call the Trevor Project. But that's the first step you need to make, is just admitting it to yourself and telling that person. It's like ripping a Band-Aid off.
Wouldn't you imagine that the hardest thing to be is transsexual?
I agree.
That must be living in the wrong body.
Living it, being transgender, it's something that even it's hard for me to understand, because I'm just not transgender. So, but these kids have such a hard life, and you see these kids that like I said, I knew I was 5 years old, and you see these 5, 6-year-olds that just know they're in a different body. It's
terrible.
It's incredible to watch.
At Leon Grantham wants to know how you feel about still being referred to as Nsync's Lance Bass.
I will always be Nsync's Lance Bass, and that's something I'm very proud of. We worked our butts off, to make that as big as we possibly could. So I'm glad to always be referred to as Nsync's Lance Bass.
At Lindley 2000 tweets, are there plans to do a follow-up with the people in the documentary to see what's changed since you filmed?
It's a great idea, and something that I've already thought about.
When did you film?
We filmed that, we wrapped that about 4 years ago. So, and it's just now coming out. So these kids that were 17, 18 are now adults and just graduating college, and I would love to catch up with these kids. And I've kept in touch with the ones in the film, but I think people would be very surprised to see how these kids are doing right now.
We want to finish now with a little game called If You Only Knew.
All right.
First person you kissed, and I bet it was a girl because you were pretending then.
Yeah, well, first girl, I always say kiss. It was in kindergarten, and it was my little girlfriend, Bethany. Yeah.
You ever find out what happened to her?
Not really. I don't know where she's at these days.
What keeps you up at night?
Everything. My brain doesn't shut off, Larry. I mean, I'm always creating. I do all my writing at night with film and television and music, so my brain's always just coming up.
Where's home? Where do you live?
I call LA home these days.
An NSYNC song you thought would be a hit that wasn't?
There's a song called It Makes Me Ill, and I wanted to release it so bad. It was one of my favorite songs off the album. We just didn't get to make it to that song on that album.
Was there a hit that surprised you?
Bye 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 was actually a huge runaway hit that I didn't think it would be that big. Every artist dreams of having that song that you turn on the radio and you get sick of it because you keep hearing it. Bye 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 was that song.
You're stranded on a desert island. What 3 things you want with you?
Oh my gosh, do I get to bring people? Or just
yeah, people you can bring.
Well, I need my fiance there, of course. And then I need my DVR because I'm addicted to television. I admit it. I watch every show on television. So my DVR, my fiance, and I have to have my dogs. Yeah.
Proudest moment?
Oh my gosh. I think finishing my cosmonaut training. That was the hardest thing I've ever done in my entire life. My cosmonaut training. Yeah.
You're a
cosmonaut, Larry, yes.
Why? You're not an astronaut?
No, I went with Russia, yeah. So
where did you train?
The Gagarin Center in Zvezdony Gorodok outside Moscow.
Why?
I was doing they wanted the youngest person to go to space, and so they chose me.
How old were you?
I was 24 at the time. Or
How long were you there?
I was there for 7 months, and I did the whole program. And
I knew a lot of cosmonauts. They're terrific. They're the same as astronauts.
They are.
They're explorers. They're very individualistic.
It was something I never, I mean, my dreams in the world were, astronaut, radio host, and singer. I didn't even think I had a chance to be a singer, but astronaut was one thing I always thought I could maybe do.
There he goes, Lance Bass, cosmonaut, gay cosmonaut. Oh, Putin would love this.
I know, right?
Yes, this would be a great moment. Biggest misconception about you?
Biggest misconception? Oh my gosh, I don't know. I don't really like to read any of the comments or anything, so I keep that very, there's a wall in between people's opinions and me. I just like to do what I do and not worry about what people
Did the NSYNC guys have a nickname for you?
A lot of them, actually, yeah. One big one was Pez, because I was a big Adam's apple, so they always called me the Pez, yeah.
Thank you, man.
Good to see
This
you.
is great. Good to see you again.
Definitely.
Thanks to my guest, Lance Bass. Mississippi I Am is available on iTunes, as is his new single, Walking on Air. And remember, you can find me on Twitter at Kings Things. I'll see you next time.